All right, good. All right. So update the stakeholder register, assess impact on risk, revise. Okay. So do you folks remember what we talked about yesterday as far as what you should do the moment someone leaves or enters the project? Do you remember?
Yeah.
What was the conclusion? What did we conclude?
We need to do the impact analysis without taking any decision. That's what.
Well, this one here is not a decision though. So this one that's happening here is reality. Do you agree that this is reality? It's like something has happened. Someone has left. What about if somebody was joining? What would you do?
So the update stakeholder register.
There you go. It's the same thing. Whether someone is leaving or someone is joining, it's reality, and the register just needs to be updated. Whether the person is a negative stakeholder or a positive stakeholder, it doesn't change what has to be done. What has to be done is you got to update that register anyway.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So we are considering the functional manager as a stakeholder.
Oh, absolutely. So let's read the question again. What does it say?
Yeah, like during the project's development stage, a functional manager is transferred to another department and is no longer involved with the project.
There you go.
So what should the project manager do first? First is the keyword. Yeah.
I see it. So yeah, the functional manager is definitely a stakeholder.
Yeah.
Because what is a stakeholder? Someone who the project could affect or someone who could be affected by the project, right?
Yeah.
So you have a functional manager who can decide not to let his staff work on the project, or could decide to be more friendly and allow his or her staff work on the project, you know. And then we can have a functional manager that is doubling as a subject matter expert. So it really depends, but the grand scheme of things, that functional manager is a stakeholder.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let us say if the project, the register is updated, and next step will be assessing, right? Or no?
So the stakeholder register does need to be updated. As far as the impact is concerned, the impact of that person leaving, that's secondary.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But let's see it. Let's see it. It says is transferred. So this is something that just happened. They're transferred. So you don't even have a moment to even, you just gotta update the register because they're transferred.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Does that make sense, Colin?
Yes. Yes, I just didn't realize that the functional manager was being considered as a.
Oh yeah. Functional managers. Let me tell you this. Even a team member, right? A team member can also be considered as a stakeholder, believe it or not, because they can impact the project and they can be affected by the project as well, in some cases. So just think about it like that. Chandra, let's go back to number one.
Okay.
I'm kind of gonna stop briefly on the road as I'm making the turn so I can look at it. So update, so it wouldn't be assess the impact on risks first. It wouldn't be revise the communications management plan, because if someone is leaving, the likelihood of them affecting how you communicate is not paramount. That's not what you would do first. Is it possible that maybe that stakeholder has some peculiar communication requirements? It is, but that would not be the first thing that you do. Like if you're saying this person wanted an email every Friday, now they're no longer on the project, I can see that, but that's also presumptuous. We don't know that for sure that this one functional manager is causing any peculiarities in the communications management plan. And the last one says review project team assignments. That really does not have anything to do with this person leaving. Okay, all right, let's go to number 2.
Yeah. So should I read it?
Yes, please.
A project sponsor directs a project manager to immediately begin a critical project with a very tight timeline. What should the project manager do first?
All right. What did you folks choose?
A.
Yeah.
A, which is gather initial requirements to create the project charter.
Okay. Chandra, what did you choose?
Yeah, the first one, because it's because they didn't say that the project charter is already there. And also by going through the other options, like meet with all divisions to obtain their buy-in and support, draft the project schedule, that will come later, right? Ask.
You're right.
Huh?
You're correct. That's the correct answer. Well done. Let's go to the next one.
Okay. A project manager prepares the charter for the project that aims to automate 20% of product testing. The project sponsor advises the project manager to assign senior test engineers to identify the tests that can be automated. However, the test department manager is uncooperative because they believe that the project will cause downsizing their department. What should the project manager do first?
Okay.
So meet the test department manager to explain the statement of work. Ask the project sponsor to provide rationale that is gone. Raise the risk that senior test engineers will be unavailable for this testing. Provide objective cost benefit evidence of test automation to the test department manager. So B and C are gone. Okay, and during elimination. And
okay. However, the test department. So the bottom line is you're not getting cooperation because they believe that the project will cause downsizing. You're looking to automate testing. So let's see. Option D, provide objective cost. So their problem is not the cost. Cost is not the problem. The reason why they're uncooperative is because they have a false idea of reality. Yeah. C, raise the risk that the senior engineers would be unavailable. That does not help anything. That is not saying, oh, there could be a risk that we won't get cooperation. That's not going to help. And then B, ask the project sponsor to provide a rationale for, it's like saying, yeah, you asked me to work this project, but you tell me why you're doing this project. That's silly. That's silly. And that's already in the charter, right? So if the project manager wanted that answer, it says project manager prepares the charter. That information is already in the charter. So the best answer is actually meet with the department. Yeah, meet with the test department manager to explain the statement of work. And through that, you get buy-in and support. That's the best answer.
Because it will not show any downsizing there, maybe.
Exactly. The rationale will not show downsizing. You got it.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the next one. What did you folks choose for this?
Fourth one, right?
So let's do a quick calculation. If you could do this in on your calculator, that would be cool. So a project that should have been 80% complete by now is only 75% complete. Is that good or bad?
That is less than, it's 0.93 when we calculate it, so it is less than 1.
But overall, I'm just asking you, is that a good performance or bad performance?
It's not good.
Good, So, but is it not good from a cost standpoint, or is it not good from a schedule standpoint?
Schedule.
There you go. So anything that tells you otherwise is incorrect. So anything that makes the schedule look good is wrong. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So D, we can immediately eliminate because D, the SPI is showing as 1.07. So we already know it's not that. Okay. So let's take a look. The total project budget is 100,000 and actual cost of work is 72,000. So what you can do from this is find out what your earned value is. Your earned value, it says how many percent complete are you? 75% complete, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if the budget is 100,000, then your earned value is what?
100 times 75.75.
You got it. So that's 7,500, 75,000, sorry.
Yeah.
So your earned value, yeah. So you're going to use, let me see if I can do this.
75,000 is earned value, but actual cost performed, that is also on planned value. Performed?
Yeah. EV is 75K and AC is 72K.
Correct.
So you can find your CPI is going to be 75 divided by 72. And what does that give you?
75 divided by 72. That is 1.04.
Okay. So your CPI is 1.04.
Yeah.
But the question is, what is the SPI? So how are we going to find the SPI? We could say that
0.93.
So how do you find the SPI?
Earned value by planned value.
So SPI, let's do that again. Give me a second. SPI is equal to the earned value, or I should say the budget at completion, sorry, times the percent that you should have gotten done. The percent planned, right? So if we have 100,000 of is the budget, but it said you should have been 80% complete. That means your planned value is going to be 100,000 times 80, which is 80. Yeah.
80,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're I think I might have said something wrong. I meant to say PV. So excuse me. Your planned value is going to be 100K times 0.8.
Yeah.
And that will give you 80,000. So now you can use your
earned value.
Planned value times percent complete. I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. You can use your 100K times 0.8 to get the 80,000, which is your planned value. And you can substitute that in SPI, which is your earned value. What is your earned value again? What is your earned value?
72,000.
72? Is it 72? No, that's not earned value. Your earned value is 75. 75 divided by 80. That is your SPI.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because of the
you understand
schedule.
that?
Yeah. That's what I did, yeah.
Yeah, Corbin, do you understand that? Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay, so what did that give you?
0.9375, which is 0.94.
Okay, so the answer is what?
C.
All right. You sure the answer is C?
Yeah, because CPI is 1.04.
What did we get for CPI?
That's what, see here, 73,000, 75 by, 1 second, let me check in the history.
Okay, there's a trick, which is what I'm stressing. I'm trying to stress how they want to trick you, because you need to keep your eye on the language. We got CPI is 1.04, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you got to read the language that they said here. Is that correct?
Yeah, because over budget, right? Because it's 1.04.
1.04 is good, right, Chandra?
Good, it's good, but if you see
So
ABCD, like, and otherwise other two are saying under budget.
but it is under budget. 1.04 is under budget.
Oh.
Any CP, so if your CPI is equal to, does it make sense now?
Yeah, because it's not less than 1.
Exactly. Yeah. Under budget is good.
Correct.
Yeah, does it make sense? So the answer is A.
Yeah.
Not, yeah, but if you miss this first part, if you miss this part here, you're gonna choose this, which is the wrong answer. It's A. Okay.
Yeah.
Very tricky. All right. Colvin, did it make sense?
I'm weak in this area, so
yeah. I think if you I think if you watch my videos, it's gonna help you. But okay. Do you know the formulas off the top for CPI and PI?
Yes. Okay. And CPI is earned value divided by actual cost.
Good. Get those formulas down. The little trickery here is they're giving you percent complete. So when they say a project that should have been 80% complete by now, that means by now the planned value is 80% of the 100,000. So if someone said, Corvin, by now you should have done 5. That's your planned value is whatever that 5 is. So whenever they say, by now you should have done ABC, that is actually your planned value. That's the plan. Oh. And then when it says now you've only done 4. So if someone says, Corvin, you should have done 5 land clearance, you've only done 4. That means the schedule, the planned value, which is schedule related, is 5, but you've only done 4. That's your earned value. You've only earned a value of 4, but the planned value was 5. That's how you need to think about this. So in this case, you just needed to convert the 80% to a planned value of 80,000, and the 75% complete is your earned value. And you would have converted that to your 75K. So it's really like this, your earned value, let me see if I can do it again. Your earned value, let's try that. Earned value is 75K. Your planned value is 80K, and your actual cost is 72. Once you have these, you can then plug them in. And when I say 72, I mean 72,000. All right. All right. Sorry, I'm writing on the phone, so it's very tiny. All right, let's go to number 5.
Yeah. A project is completed and closeout activities are underway. The project manager discovers that a team member is performing operations activities unrelated to the project scope, but necessary for regular operation. Since the final deliverables must be handed over to the operations, what should the project manager do?
All right, so let's go. Let's see the answers.
Oh, sorry. Issue the change request and obtain approval from the change control board. Ask the team to assist in completing the operations work and close the project.
Good deal. All right, let's go to number 5. So the answer to this number 5, The answer to number 5. What did you folks choose?
I chose A.
Yeah, I chose A also.
All right, that's the answer. So we're good. Let's move on to number 6.
Yeah, a project manager and their team identified risks, performed a qualitative risk analysis, and
I remember these ones now. You can just tell me what you chose, Chandra. What did you choose?
A.
What did you choose, Corbin?
B.
Okay, so this one, it says a project manager and the team identified risk, performed a qualitative risk analysis, blah, 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 blah. All right, to avoid the delay in risk response, what should the project manager have done? I think we've actually looked at this question in the past. The answer to this is indeed A, and it's when you assign a risk owner to the risk, the likelihood is you're going to avoid delays. So updating the risk report is not going to do anything because you need people to take action. That's really what the problem is here. People taking action, you know, distributing the risk response plan to the project sponsor. Yeah, so what? Is he going to beat them up? No. So it really doesn't help. If you distribute the risk response plan, but you don't have a risk owner and a risk action owner, it doesn't help the matter. And the last one, quantitative risk analysis is not the problem because these have already been done.
Yeah.
If you follow the drift, everything has been done. There's even been a risk response plan as well. So everything that they're giving you as options have already been done, except the piece of assigning the risk owners. Does that make sense, Corbin? When you boil it down, the option C, distribute the risk response plan, it says there have been delays in the response. It didn't say that there's a problem with the response plan because it said you prepared a risk response plan. Okay. So so it's a trick. They're trying to, and PMI, they're good. They're masters of this. They write the question in such a way that you blow past the fact that, hey, I've actually done this. Why are they giving me this as an option? The question says I've done it. Well, that's the whole idea. And I want to say in about 50 to maybe even 60% of questions, they are giving you an option that is a legitimate option, but you've already done it. So you got to be on the lookout for those. Okay. Here's the deal. Project manager is ready to close a project. If you're ready to close a project, you have already done C, manage quality. No, you've already done that. You've already done quality. Remember, and you should check out my video for today, day 21, because it's quality. So manage quality actually is a process that comes before control quality. Also, it says manage quality to validate that deliverables have met standards. That's bogus because in manage quality, we don't validate scope. In manage quality, we check to ensure that we have followed good practices and processes. So even if it was going to be managed quality, the wording is even off. Managed quality would have been done earlier. Managed quality is where you're checking to make sure you're following standards. And it's not D, measure the project against the project charter and request customer acceptance, because customer acceptance already happened in validate scope. So now you're in closed project or phase, you've already done customer acceptance. Because remember, the accepted deliverables, those are already an input to closing out the project. You know, which is why I keep talking about page 25, because if you know the flow, you would know that validate scope has been done, and validate scope is where you request customer acceptance, and that's not in closing. Option B that says resolve all project risks, that you should have already done that. You're closing the project, so that should have already been done.
Correct.
The only sensible one is A. Yeah. Review the project management plan to ensure scope's completion. And so that piece at the end, request customer acceptance, that is bogus. But because none of the other options is better, we're just going to choose A. The whole thing about requesting customer acceptance, we could excuse it like formal final acceptance of the entire project. See?
Oh. See, that's where I feel like I was thinking, see here, I was debating between A and D. And then
yeah.
I got stuck with the deliverables word, and there the whole project management plan, why do we need to review, right? That's
so this is the trick. This is why it wouldn't be this. So the project deliverables are not measured against the project charter. The project success is measured against the project charter. The project deliverables are measured more against the requirements traceability matrix and
that's
other things. Yeah.
I got it.
It's tricky, but A is the best option.
Sure.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. What did you choose for 8?
I'm debating A and A.
Okay. What did you choose, Colvin?
Chose A as well.
Good. All right. We are aligned on that one. So
yeah, I actually put down 2 answers, but then I selected A for like my first choice. So yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. So number 9.
Yeah.
What did you choose for that one? So I was saying the scatter diagram shows if there is a relationship between the X and the Y plot, but it doesn't tell you why there is an interrelationship. It shows you if there is one, but you don't know for sure like why. That you have to use another tool to understand why there's an interrelationship. So just keep that in mind. So a scatter diagram, it can show you an inverse relationship, which is when it goes from left to right. So from the top left down to the right. There are times where you see that happening and it's an inverse relationship. But then you have a direct relationship where it goes from the bottom left, the 0 point, up. So, and there are many kinds of relationships anyway. But let's talk about the next one. What is an affinity diagram? What does that do for you? Anyone tell us?
That is like T-size T-shirt shaping, categorizing the problem.
Good. It's categorizing. So actually the affinity estimating took its name from the affinity diagram. So an affinity diagram is just grouping things. Yeah. Like if you put things into groups of maybe this affects people, this affects machines, this affects process, this affects business or whatever. It's just categories. It's just putting things into categories. So affinity is really more like a word to show bonding. So things that go together, we put them into groups. That's the affinity diagram. All right. And then which other one? Histogram. What does a histogram do for us?
Histogram can give the information about from the past, right? Issues and all.
So a histogram could show you data from the past, could show you present data. The bottom line about this data and the histogram is going to help you group the data however you want. You could group data by areas that defects are from. You could show, differences in heights of students in groups. You can show ages of students, how many students are a particular age and things like that. Okay, so the reason why it's a control chart is the control chart shows you what?
If the project is in control in terms of all the standards, maybe.
So really your control chart, it does show you control. It actually shows you more of process control. So if a process is in control, the numbers that you're getting, for example, a food product, the weight of that product is going to be, you're not going to see a lot of variation, right? If you're seeing a lot of variation, then it's not in control. And the control chart shows you that. I would advise maybe just watching my video on ×2 on YouTube. If you just search on YouTube for Praizion control chart, I think I've got a 20-minute video, and I actually show you how to create a control chart. I show you everything about the control chart, how to plot it, you know, everything. So just look for that.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, this one I need some help, but
all right.
What I chose was B.
Okay, let's see. What does it say?
This is about what leads and lags relations should the project manager select.
Okay.
So the project manager is presented with possible network paths that will not violate schedule constraints. Okay. The project sponsor asks for a schedule that plans all tasks as soon as possible.
Okay. Okay. I think I remember this one. Give me a second. I'm going to have to wait till I get to a convenient place. So can you read it again from the beginning?
Okay. Yeah. A project manager is developing the schedule management plan for the data center migration project. Okay. The project sponsor asks for a schedule that plans all the tasks as soon as possible. The project manager is presented with possible network paths that will not violate schedule constraints. What leads and lags relations should the project manager select?
Okay, got it. Okay. So let's go through some of these ideas. So early start equals the late start.
Yeah.
So this is where it could get a little bit complicated to explain, because I haven't even taught anyone in the past year this early start, late start thing. So if the early start equals the late start, so the way it works in scheduling, if early start equals late start, that means there's absolutely no wiggle room. Yeah, there's no float, and that is what option A is suggesting, which is why option A is the correct option. Because, yeah, so if early start equals late start in some activities, it's not going to have as profound an effect as in early start. So what A is saying is there's no wiggle room. Everything has to be done on schedule, no delays.
So but that is critical path, right? That is kind of critical path.
Yes, exactly. Critical path. So if, you know, just to cut to the chase, if this kind of question comes up on the exam, just choose the option that says early start equals late start in all activities. Because the one that says, so if early start is smaller than the late start, that means you're late. That's the interpretation. So the interpretation of C is you're late. The interpretation of D is you could be late on some tasks. The interpretation of B is that you're late on some tasks.
Oh, okay.
The interpretation of C is you're late in all tasks. And the interpretation of A is that you're right on schedule. Okay. There's no wiggle room. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a bit tricky, but that's the rationale. Let's go to the next one.
Okay. During a periodic review with stakeholders, the project sponsor asks the project manager how deliverables be verified for accuracy and accepted. Where can the project manager find this information?
Okay. So which knowledge area we typically talk about accuracy? Do you remember?
So that can be for accuracy and accepted. So quality is it?
Yeah, quality is the knowledge area where we talk about accuracy. So
Yeah.
this is a dead giveaway. So it wouldn't be work performance reports because that is not, that does not talk about accuracy. That just reports on stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other ones, requirements management plan. As far as accuracy is concerned, there could be some talk about it, but it's not the best place to get information relating to accuracy. The best place to get accuracy related information is quality.
Yeah.
That's where it lives. Yeah. And the problem with C is it didn't even say requirements document or requirements traceability matrix. It said requirements management plan, which is just a plan for how to manage the requirements, but it doesn't tell you the requirements. And then the same for scope management plan. It's not the, just tells you how to manage scope.
Correct.
So yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I hope you learned some things. Those questions are from PMI. I did not write those questions. They're from PMI. So the PMI questions, they have a different feel to them. And the more you play with them, the more used to them you'll be. So what I'm going to try to do in the weeks ahead is introduce some more of these questions. Mm-hmm. And we'll just go through them piece by piece. And those who missed it will be able to catch up and listen in. Yeah. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and stop the recording.